What was your feeling when you heard about the news, when it was, brought to your attention? Were you disappointed in Shane?
I wasn't disappointed in Shane. I wasn't disappointed in Shane. I was disappointed in the situation, and I'm happy that Liv spoke up, and it was eradicated.
It's strange because the first thing that I thought of wasn't about Shane at all. It was... There's a serious issue here that Liv was able to point out where within the film industry there's a sense of kind of glorification around this world, right? If we turn the camera around, this doesn't look very, as glamorous as you would imagine, right? But everything in front of the camera does, and it could leverage or possibly give him the possibility to leverage that against someone that's naive or somebody that doesn't know that this isn't that glamorous. And that really was the biggest issue for me. And so more than anything, I didn't think about Shane. I thought about the possibility of this continuing to happen and where it happens. And also to Liv for speaking up on such a subject, because it takes a lot of courage to be able to say that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, strength.
Because, sadly people's, they
it's every day.
Yeah. I think that I don't think you need a platform to call this out. That's the biggest issue.
Call it out.
Call it out wherever you are.
You know what I mean?
Call it out wherever you are, wherever you see it. You don't need a platform. You don't need to be in front of a camera. You can be at work and call it out. Anywhere you see something like this, you feel a little bit uncomfortable, have a conversation about it. I'm not saying, hey, this is what happened. You don't need, but if you just have an inkling of something, have a conversation with somebody. That's really the big important thing.
And do you yourselves wish that you had made a comment at the time when asked for comments? Last week
I was never asked for comments. Someone called to ask for comments. So I guess this is my comment.
But it is nice to hear the support for your co-star here, Olivia, who did go out on a limb to do that.
Not that she needs it, because she's a badass all on her own.
Well, I appreciate that, but
she can shoulder it all. But
it does mean a lot to to have the support, because the support online has been really amazing, and people understanding that that laws and policies have to change. Things like this shouldn't be allowed, or at least you need to be able to know when you are working with someone like that. We have kids on the set. Jacob Tremblay, his sister is 14. He has another younger sister. If people around, if you bring family members or anybody around, those are things that are important. And I understand that people can be rehabilitated and they serve their time, but people serve their time because there has to be a time on certain violations and certain crimes. However, for me, when it comes to giving people second chances, people who hurt children or animals don't get a second chance in my book. You still need to make a living, do all that, but I'm just not comfortable with you being in a movie that, like ours, is aimed to be a global, international movie that's going to reach so many people. And in this day and age, with social media and internet, and specifically Steve Wilder on our movie, he used internet to try to lure in a 14-year-old female relative. And I don't want anyone to stand next to me, and I don't want to, we all work hard in this business to create a platform for ourselves and for people to know who we are and to recognize our faces and put our work out there. And whatever small amount of, power or fame that I've created, I'm not willing to share it with somebody like that. And if Shane wants to share his platform and his power with someone like that, that's on him. But I deserve to make that choice for myself, and that choice was taken from me, and that's not okay. And I think everybody deserved, when I did personally call everyone when I found out, and I wanted to let them know, because I didn't want them to be blindsided the way that I was. Both of their reactions were, thank you for telling me, because that's not something they feel comfortable with in their own. I mean, I don't want to speak for you guys, but I just know that it's not something they would have felt comfortable with either in our conversations, and they were happy to know that, and they didn't have to be blindsided like I was.
What do you hope the lesson is for all of us to take moving forward?
Live your truth.
Yeah, follow your north. Follow your moral compass. When you see something wrong, don't take your morals based on somebody else. Follow yours.
At the end of the day, we're making movies, You know, like we're not in the mafia. Like I didn't speak against the family. You know, and you know, I spoke up the same way that I would hope somebody would speak up for me if I was a 14-year-old girl and I needed somebody to stand there and have my back. And when it comes to children who have been victimized in that way, it doesn't go away after a year or 2 years. That follows you for a really long time. And, you know, it's just so important that when we have a voice, we use it to shape the world. That's all. We have to do that. And this 14-year-old girl, when I heard about it, I don't know her, didn't know her at the time, but she represents all of our daughters, all of our sisters. That's so important. And I did, you know, I felt the support from, you know, online and the news and everybody was very encouraging and made me feel really good. But it, you know, it was a very lonely time for me that day. You know, I felt, you know, I don't accept Shane's apology. It wasn't given to me personally, by the way. I don't know if you guys know that. He put out an apology, but I didn't get that apology. And I don't know about you guys, but I think a real apology has to be done privately, not just read publicly. And I read it with the rest of the, you know, the world. And, you know, and he was, you know, I didn't get that call. I didn't get the call from the producers. I didn't get any calls from any producers or anybody saying thank you for letting us know, or thank you for letting us know before the movie. It was like 2 days before the movie went, you know, and was locked. And so, you know, the biggest thing that I think, like, and I wanted to tell that part because it's not that easy just to see something, say something. You know, I don't care if it's my movie. I don't care if this movie was going to give me $100 million. It's not worth being quiet over that. My silence is not for sale. And when you see something and you know something, just know that there will be people that back you. And honestly, because of the people on social media, that has given me the wings to keep going. Because there have been times when I, you know, wanted to break down crying because I felt so alone. But because of the community and everybody saying, you're right, that's messed up, and we stand behind you, you know, that encouraged me. So when anybody speaks up, and I hope that they do, that I hope everyone around them rallies around and pushes them. Because nothing is worth one person's life.